Well, everybody, as you all know full well right now, gold and silver have been getting beat down pretty good. Gold's at 1473.90 and silver's at 3563. And there's a couple reasons for that. As far as silver goes, the COMEX has raised the amount of money that speculators have to put down on a contract. As of May 9th, it will be $21,600. And just 2 weeks ago, the price for a contract was $11,745. So they've raised the amount of money you need to put down by 84%. So that's causing a lot of people to exit the market, and so that's why the price is going down there. On the other thing, today we have a stronger dollar. I mean, if you look on Kitco how they break it down, gold has actually lost $19.30 on a stronger dollar, and silver is at 50 cents right now. So it lost 50 cents on the strengthening of the U.S. dollar. And the reason that the dollar has gone up is because the Europeans were expecting that the ECB president Jean-Claude Trichet that he was going to give some kind of hint that they were going to raise interest rates in June. He didn't do that, and so it kind of spooked the investors, and they all bailed out of the euro, which caused our dollar to rise. So the strength in the dollar really isn't because of anything that we in America have done. It's solely because of what happened over in Europe and spooked investors. And it's likely an interim thing. It's not something that's going to last, because the dollar is still the dollar. Let's just put it that way. And there's no policy change on our end to make the dollar stronger. We're not producing more goods and exporting more to other countries. Our trade balances are still our trade imbalances, I should say. We don't have a balance. We have an imbalance. They're still real high. So nothing at all has changed on that. So I would say that it's kind of like a beatdown coming together at the same time. You have the COMEX and you have the strengthening of the dollar, which is a result of what's going on over there in Europe. So I see this as temporary. For my money, silver at 35 and change is a good buy. If it goes down another $5, $30, silver is an even better buy. Nothing has changed as far as America's track going forward. We're still headed towards an economic collapse. The debt is still growing. There's no jobs. We just had bad job numbers come out. So I don't see this as something to get panicked over. Would it have been nice if silver stayed up near 50? Sure, it would have been great. But that's not how things work. There's always a pullback. There's always a contraction somewhere where things consolidate. And yeah, this is kind of a forced consolidation. And if you read a couple of the articles around the internet, there's talk about how they kind of threw the wet blanket on the silver price. The rise in silver. So you can call it manipulation if you want to. It doesn't really matter. The price is what it is. And but what that does do is that affords us who wanted to get in. Even now, I get a lot of questions about is it still a good time to get in? Is $40, is $45 a good price? I've explained this in the past, but I hold my silver for a longer term, and I hold it for a specific reason of that when collapse comes to this country, I want to have something in my possession that is not going to be worth zero, that I can use to trade with, because we're all human, and it's inevitable that I will have not prepared enough of something that I may need in the future, and I'm going to need something, or maybe something slipped my mind. Whatever the case, I want to have something in my possession that I can trade with. That I don't have to drag a goat or a cow or whatever it is down to the market or whatever we're going to be trading. I can just take my silver and say, look, I'll give you a silver coin for that. We make our trade. He takes the coin and brings it to somebody else for something he wants. That's obviously the point of currency, and that's what makes currency advantageous, other than dragging your cows and goats and chickens and everything to market to people who may not want what you have. So I've said in the past that I hold it for a longer term. One, because I don't believe that Social Security and all that is going to be there when I'm old enough to receive it. Two, I'm becoming more and more convinced that we're going to experience some level of collapse, because there's so many people in denial, and they continue to pussyfoot around the solutions for any of the debt and any of the other problems that we have. Jobs, really, politicians run time and again on I'm going to create jobs. Not that they can, because I don't think a politician can create a job, but at the least they should do is make policy so that it encourages American jobs. But that's a different story. So I mean, they're on the path that they're on, and they don't seem to be changing it. So I don't think anything's going to change. I don't think anything has changed. I think this is a temporary pullback because of the very things that I just talked about. And the one bright spot would be that oil prices are down. So hopefully gas will go down in the next week or so.